Take one. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is probably the first video you're seeing from this channel, and today we're going to be talking about 5 things you should know before you start your Blender journey. So without further ado, let's run right in the video. Okay guys, so first thing which a lot of people don't get quite easily, and they ask me what's the point of this, is get started with a design software. And by design softwares I mean Adobe's Photoshop or Illustrator. See, the thing with that is, if someone says that I need to learn Blender, why should I start with design softwares first? The thing is, if you are a complete fresher and have no idea about the design or how the animation industry works, you may find the 3D interface very complicated. Whereas if you have a hold of Photoshop or maybe Illustrator, or maybe you would have explored the design industry a bit, maybe the 3D software such as Maya or Max, or in our case Blender, would not be as intimidating to you. And also, how the people who have just started with Blender, they are traditional artists in Blender, they might struggle a bit with Blender, but if they had done Photoshop before, it might be easier for them. So if you're not a very tech savvy person, I don't advise you to go into Blender right away. I think you should start with Photoshop, and you should try learning the basic principles of design first, color theory first, and eventually the basic principles of animation. That is going to help you a lot. I advise this to a lot of people, but it's okay. It may not work for everyone. A lot of people, such as gamers, are good in Blender at the first place itself. They don't start with Photoshop or Illustrator, but I would highly suggest you that if you're a complete fresher and you're not a very tech savvy just like me, and you want a picture of this animation industry and everything, I would suggest you to start with Photoshop first and learn the design principles, and then come with animation principles, and maybe you can learn to animate a little in Photoshop or maybe in After Effects. Well, that's an entirely different software, but you get my point, right? Just start with a design software, and then if you think that you have mastered some design and you have a little exposure of the okay, now second point. It's going to be a little hard for some people, but okay. Second thing, know yourself, what you're getting into. Know yourself, what you're getting into. 3D takes a lot of time and effort. A lot of times I see a lot of people that have watched really cool stuff on Instagram Reels or everywhere, and they're like, they have this sudden rush that I want to create this, and I want to create this. But one thing that you gotta know is, anything, just not in 3D but in any art form, if it's a masterpiece, it did take a lot of time and effort and practice from the artist. So if you see a reel and then you're like, you get inspired that I want to create this, that's great, but you should know it will take a lot of time and practice. So you should know what you're getting yourself into, and you should be willing to keep going. You should have a strong will, because 3D will test your patience. There will be a lot of times that you'll be like, oh my god, I'm stuck, what to do. So don't give up on it, because I think once you get through all the doubts and the nitty-gritty parts, and that is probably in the first 2 to 3 months, you'll have a strong base, and then you'll probably get out of that doubt zone, and you'll do good. But it may be a little bit on the harder side in the first 3 months, so don't give up on it quite easily. Third point is that you have to learn every process in 3D. By process I mean modeling, then texturing, then obviously lighting or rigging and animating and rendering. So when you start using Blender, you do everything by yourself. Even if you get your final job as a modeling artist or as an animator, but in the start you will have to do everything by yourself, because you don't have a team, right? Obviously. So you'll have to learn modeling, and then after that texturing and everything by yourself, at least in the beginning. And also it is important, because your first job, you'll probably get that as a 3D generalist, as in you are going to do the entire process from the model to the render by yourself. Well, that does make sense, because obviously, as I said, that you are going to get your first job as a modeler. But if you want to, when we are in a studio, we work in a team. So if you want to get on the same get on the, what do you say that, get on the same something with the other person. We work in a team. You should learn about the other. You should first know how to model it. You should know all the techniques, or hard surface modeling, organic modeling, or NURBS and polygonal modeling, and then you should go into texturing and everything. Then similarly lighting and rendering and animating. So there are a lot of different processes, and you're going to do them as you're going to do them all, because you are going to be a 3D journalist and a freelancer in the start. So yeah. Now there's the fourth point, that is specifying a niche. So there's basically no limit to what you can do in Blender, from making a game to product visualizations to architecture to music visuals to CGI, VFX, everything that you can imagine is basically, you can do that in this software. So what you should do in the start is explore everything by different techniques. You should focus on learning this skill, and you should try a little of everything. That means that you should try product visualizations, then you should try making a character, and then maybe you should try making some CGI shit using CGI things using After Effects. And then you should after exploring all these fields, maybe you could come up with what you like more, and then you can specify that, okay, I like this thing, and then you can focus on learning and improving that. So first you need to try all of them. There are a lot of different things, and maybe if I'm missing out something, whatever, I'll say this in a simple line. Whatever you can imagine right here, you can make this in the software. It is that simple, as simple as that. So yeah. You can first try out different things, and then you can specify, and then we will get to know that I like this, and then you can niche it down to that, and then you should focus on improving that on a next level, like really good, and then you can offer your services. Obviously, as an advertising agency, if you have a team of a certain number of people, or as a freelance. So yeah. Okay, the last and the most important point that I swear by is having a community, online or offline. But if you have an offline community, that's even better. Now, what I mean by a community is people that you can, have your solve your doubts with, and you can ask questions to. See, there are different benefits of having a community. First one is that if you're having a doubt, you will have a really hard time explaining that to YouTube, or maybe you can take help with ChatGPT. But honestly, if a friend had already solved that doubt, that will almost take you a minute or two in getting the solution. Whereas if you are online searching for the doubt, that will maybe can take up to 2 days. That's going to waste you a lot of times, and a lot of times that's going to frustrate you, irritate you, and you will likely give up on things, and then things will pile up, and that will go downhill from there. So not only a community is going to save up you a lot of time, it is going to make you stress free. It is going to give you a second point, a very healthy competition, because if all others are doing great work, that will obviously motivate you to do great work, do work to a certain extent, not only for the sake of doing work, but you'll put out quality work. And also there will be a healthy competition, so you'll make a streak. So that two things are very important. If you can you will save up time on your doubts, and second thing is you will have a healthy competition which will push you to push out good quality work and not compromise on quality, and you will make a streak. You will be more consistent, which will eventually be very helpful in your growth. So yeah, that was fourth point or fifth point, I don't know. Yeah. Last point is your social media presence. So as you already know, whether you're a freelancer or you're having an advertising agency, learning a skill is a different thing, but your presence on social media platforms, maybe Instagram or YouTube or LinkedIn, is much more important, because that is the place you'll be able to get clients. So as soon as you have a basic portfolio, you're well equipped with your skills, you have a good skill set and a good portfolio, post it on all the social media platforms, make good profiles and reach out to clients. Don't wait for don't set unrealistic expectations for you, that if I'll get to this point, or maybe my portfolio will be this good, then only I'm going to DM people. No, that's going to take a lot of time. You learn by doing, so if you'll get a client's work, you'll understand more. Rather than just making dummy projects, you'll be handling actual client work, which will actually help you. So you should start with the client side as fast as possible. So yeah, and also make your accounts on Upwork and Fiverr for freelance work. Yeah. So that was all for today's videos, guys. I hope you liked the video. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you. If you like it, if you like the video, do like it, and if you have something to tell, do comment and share it with your friends who are learning Blender. Thank you.